Welcome! E aí, galera, beleza? Bem-vindo à nossa comunidade.
Welcome to our community.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is OGC here. Welcome to today's video. In today's video, I figured I would do something a little bit different and go look at some nostalgia from the game. And I figured how I would do that is by looking at past players that I know that played the game and some present players, and kind of telling the story about that player. So I figured for the first one, probably the most influential person to me has been a guy named Tyrion. So when I first started, like very first account, first ever logged into the game, I was on server like 1204 or 1205, something along those lines. And there was a guy in the Purple Kingdom named Tyrion. I was in Light Blue, and the group that I played with at the time, there's two guys that really stood out. There was a Spike and Race. Race was super OP, by the way. Like when the initial Blue Jack skin came out and it cost like $1,200 or something like that, he got it, but he never wore it because he didn't want people to know how much he was spending. I honestly don't think he cares anymore. He probably hasn't played the game in at least 2 years. In the Purple Kingdom, there's a guy named Tyrion, and he was pretty he was pretty badass. He beat everybody using like bronze troops, and his heroes really made a big push, and it was awesome to be able to play with Tyrion. We played against each other for a while, and there was no core power back then, so it was kind of like whatever you could artificially boost up, just like your overall normal power. And I was pretty good at that, so my power in the game, that number, was always super high, and I kept it really high because it just looked good. And Tyrion would just spank me really hard. Although he wasn't a jerk, and I don't know if that makes sense. You have the strongest guy in the server, basically, and he's not a jerk. Like you can talk to him. He's willing to have conversations. He's not like out to get you, keep you in the capital, anything like that. But here we are. It's a peaceful server, and he fought for that peace. So what ended up happening was, the first server merge came, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but it's definitely a trip down memory lane. When you first started the game, that the server merge idea, I know for me, caught me off guard, and I never thought that it was going to happen. So it came and it happened, and I felt like the entire world as we knew it was going to change, and we all decided to go together. So I ended up joining in with Tyrion's house, and he did the most amazing thing. There's a guy, Neffy or something like that. We always just call him Yellow King because obviously he's from the Yellow Kingdom, and he was insanely strong. The stronger that Tyrion grew, the stronger that this guy grew. And what I can say is Tyrion always fought for us. He dedicated a lot of time, a lot of money into the game to actually fight with us and for us, and to ultimately protect us. And he fought for peace so that we could have like a peaceful service, so that the smaller people in the house could reap all the benefits, just like everybody else. And it was It was pretty intense. In the Yellow King thing, that might have happened before server merge. I can't really remember the whole thing. It's been a long time. And because I want to say maybe this server merge we ran into like Eric and all of those people. But nonetheless, I'm getting sidetracked. There was the Purple King. And yeah, so all this stuff kind of happened, and I think what was probably one of the coolest things was around. It might have been around that time, or it might have been afterwards. We started working with. It was afterwards, because I believe something happened with the servers, and we end up with a bunch of people, and there's a bunch of Chinese people that really did not like us, like a group. And then there was a group of Chinese people that really did like us, and the group that really liked us, I mean, they really liked Tyrion. Let's be real. That happened to be Pantheon and Big K were part of that group, and we formed like a really awesome alliance. It was sick. So they ended up ultimately moving to another server, and obviously Pantheon is still crushing it today. But it was amazing because we had allies in another house where our ideals didn't necessarily mesh up perfectly, but they respected us and we respected them, and we respected the humanity aspect. But Tyrion really led the charge for our group of people. And he would always fight. He was always there. He was kind of like that big brother that always just kind of took care of you. I didn't know this, but he also knew Legend Rooney back when Legend Rooney was doing videos, and it was really kind of it was really kind of cool. Okay, so we met Pantheon when we had our first server merge. That's what it is, because I remember watching the Legend Rooney videos, and I was in Legend Rooney's videos, like watching like replays and stuff. They weren't nearly as cool as like Heroes or Tyrion's, but whatever. It definitely it was some much needed ego boost at the time. So we went into the server merge, and then all of a sudden there was a group of people that really did not like us because they said some mean things in world chat, and some really mean things, and we fought and we fought and we fought, and Sean was one of the guys. He ended up having like 4 accounts all at the same time, one for every race at the time, that were just like stupid strong. And we fought, and what was amazing was we did good at sticking together, but really the guy that spearheaded it all for us was Tyrion. He fought to the point where he was out of revive potions and was using Lenari to revive his heroes. And this is back in the day where you had to deploy your hero to have their stats matter for the PvP. So if you didn't deploy a hero, the stat boost from those heroes, like the command, the might, the magic, none of that would matter. So you had to deploy every hero every fight, including the dragon, and it got extremely expensive. And at that moment, that's when I crossed a threshold from really liking the guy to having just the absolute amount of respect for him, because it was a losing fight, but it didn't matter that we were losing. He just kept going in to make a statement, to be the thorn in the side. And ultimately, we did pretty good in that server, especially because of like Pantheon and Big K and in having like an alliance that really mattered. From there, everything took a turn for the worse. I'm heavily involved in that, and we decided to go to 1180 or something like that. And it's one of the last real great fights that I got to have with Tyrion. And back then, I mean, I fought all the time. I didn't have a YouTube channel. I wasn't as idle in the game as I am now. Like I was all day, every day, wake up in the middle of the night to defend in-route people away from cities. Like I was pretty hardcore for a while until I started the YouTube thing. It's really hard to do that and do this. So what we ended up doing was we went to 1180 something to meet up with another group of players and kind of merge, and it didn't work. Eric and them were on that server, and it didn't work. I'm biased about the situation. So what I'll say, which I think is the least biased thing that I can say, was there was communication errors, and they ended up leaving the server, and we were stuck there. So we were stuck there, like me, Tyrion, in our little house. We were stuck there for a month with all 5 kingdoms, along with our own kingdom, against us. So we're a small house in a server that's older than our original server, and everybody was against us, everyone. So it was pretty bad. What transpired out of that was Big K and Pantheon, like the two of them, there might have been a small handful, but it wasn't many. I know that they came to help us, and we had a really cool week where in 1 week, as a single small house with a entire merged server against us, all 6 kingdoms against us. We won the king vote, and then we turned it around and we won emperor. And in my opinion, we won that server. We were not able to maintain that status. We transferred out, and but what's wild is we were able to do that against all the odds, against all of them. And I mean, let's be real, Big K and Pantheon and Tyrion carried the weight on their shoulders for that. But it doesn't matter. Like, us as a team, we were able to do something that we should never have been able to do. From there, I actually went separate ways from Tyrion. He went to a server. I went down to 1140 and chased people around. And I think he really started to lose interest in the game. He really enjoyed fighting people, and I think he just lost interest. They were adding in all these things to the game, and I think it just got to be too much for him. And I can't blame him for that at all. And we ended up all meeting up. I think it was like 1160 or something like that. I forget. We all met up on like a peaceful server, and he ultimately ended up quitting. I try and stay in touch with him occasionally. I probably haven't talked to him in a year because I'm horrible at staying in touch with people. But he means a lot to me, because I'm sure you guys out there watching this, if you watch this whole thing, there's people that have impacted your gameplay and your mentality in the game. He reminds me of Taint, with that idea of he's not going to give up. He's going to keep going until he's out of potions, and then he's going to spend Lunari to keep on going. Like, the dude will not give up, and for that, I have the utmost respect. So, Tyrion, if you ever find your way to this video, thank you very much for having a positive gameplay experience with me. I really do appreciate it. What I want you guys to do, 2 things in the comment section down below. If there's a player you guys want me to talk about, a little bit of nostalgia or whatever, let me know who I should do next. And also, let me know about your experience of somebody that has positively impacted your gameplay. Somebody that you played alongside with that really kind of made the game that much more special for you. So with that, please smash the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, all of that amazing, wonderful stuff. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care.